Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Winter's Wish, continuing Otaro's route. So we did all of our ghost stories last time, they were fun, and then we had a little romantic moment, and we were basically like, don't get your heart back, which was good. I mean, I still think it's interesting that he's like, would you want me to? And we're like, no. I mean, I get why she said no, because I don't want you to die. They would kill you. Valid. But it is interesting. I mean, I guess not really, if I think about it for 4 seconds, because, like, I didn't really think about it after. I'm thinking about it now. But, like, yeah, no, I get why she'd say no. And I get why he'd be happy about that, because then we're like, no, because I want to be with you. But we're kind of already in love with him pretty instantly, so that's interesting. Anyway, after that, we immediately stepped inside the next room. Now then, first things first, we have to blow out the fire. In the middle of the room was a lantern casting a dim light. When I carefully looked inside of it, there were so many lit wicks lined up that I couldn't even count them. But even so, about half of them were extinguished. Species, excuse me for a sec. Then Otaro released the hand connected to mine and cheerily removed one of the wicks. My hand's still warm. I'd already been here many times to continue the round of 100 ghost stories, but this time felt completely different. When I extinguished the fire by myself, even the smallest sound or shadow scared me, but now I didn't feel fear at all. Partly because Otaro was with me, but more than that, my head was full of what had happened earlier. Otaro, he said that he liked me just now, didn't he? I was too surprised to talk about it in detail, but judging from his reaction, he was telling the truth. Wasn't he? What should I do? It's a bit too late, but I'm starting to worry. Was it okay to react like that? I don't even really know how I feel about Otaro. You did tell him you wanted to spend forever with him, so I mean, like, just saying. But my heart's beating really fast. As those thoughts churned inside my head, Otaro turned back to me with an innocent smile. Come on, Speezy, let's look in the mirror together. Right. It seemed that, while I was lost in thought, all that was left to do was look inside the mirror. I pulled myself together and approached Otaro, who already had the mirror in his hand. In any case, I'll focus more on Otaro once we finish the 100 ghost stories. Ready? Here we go! In that moment, something unbelievable appeared before my eyes. See? Now, okay, I'm not shocked that Hibie's here, but, like, we're looking with Otaro and Hibie's. I don't know, this feels sus as fuck. Sus as fuck! Now, it doesn't mean that Otaro's not going to get possessed by Hibie, and maybe that's, whatever. But then I'm like, why did you make Otaro seem completely sus? And maybe there's a good explanation for, like, why he always, like, as soon as we're like, you guys can do what you want, he's like, bye, Felicia, and pieces the fuck out. But that always, struck me as being suspicious. You know? And then if you're gonna be like, just get possessed by Hibie, like, A pale-faced man looming behind us. He was staring at us through the mirror with resentment in his eyes. I reflexively turned around. It was unmistakable. There was a man standing right there. But his appearance was hazy. Seeing as he had emotional imprints all over his body, he couldn't have been an ordinary person. Why does he look sad now? But unexpectedly, the man also seemed surprised to see us. In contrast to his frightening appearance, the way he was blinking owlishly almost made him look childlike. Spacey, stay back! But at that point, Otaro stepped forward to protect me. I mean, okay, you're protecting me. Why you guys have... Wait a minute. Is it just because they, like, just both have, like, baby face? Because, like, why you got the same face? Are you related? Or is it, like, Hibie, Hibina, and Otaro? Are you a third? Is there a third? I'm just trying to read into fucking everything. I mean, before, well, no, we knew Hibie from the very beginning that he met was like a god or whatever, and then like Hibina's his other half, but like, so it's not like they were ever part of another clan that hated us or something, but I mean, to be fair, it's really just everybody's got similar noses in this game and little chins, so I mean, like, whatever, but it is though. They have same shape, face, and like saucer eyes, but I think it's just because Otaro has the kind of baby face, and Hibie and Hibina also have little baby face, so, you know, whatever. Art style wise, they're gonna look the same. I'm just trying to find any reason to be sus of him. His shoulders, which were normally smaller than the other Oniwaban members, now looked broad and dependable. Otaro can see it too, which means it's not a hallucination. Is it a ghost-like Blightfall? But why did it come out now? We haven't finished the round of 100 ghost stories, so it shouldn't have appeared yet. However, ultimately the ritual was a success. Wrapped around the Blightfall's hand was the thread, which supposedly belonged to the Hakuseki clan. Though it was concerning that there were more threads than we'd prepared wrapped around it. Hey you! Why'd you come here? Okay, maybe they're not that similar. Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. It was just the... any reason to be sus. Interesting. I felt a calming presence. I thought that this place, at least, would accept me. Now, that's kind of interesting from you, considering the fact that you have tried to kill us multiple times. So, calming presence because we're telling ghost stories, trying to draw on Blightfall, and you're like, ooh, evil. You know what I mean? Like, or Otaro because he's actually stabby, and we just don't know it yet. Huh? So it really was because of the ghost stories? I mean, and that could be it too, like, oh, coming the ghost stories. I can sense the darkness here because of the ghost stories or whatever. Otaro? Don't worry, leave it to me. Listen up. You're gonna truthfully answer everything I'm about to ask you. You can't disobey me because of the thread, right? Yes, I understand. First, what's your name? Hibie. Hibie, huh? There's been a lot of citizens turning into Blightfall lately. Know anything about that? That's, because we're scattering Blightfall seeds. Who's we? What? Why would you do that? See, now Otaro's acting like he doesn't know. He's acting shocked, so it makes me feel like me being sus of him was not, you know, fair. Huh. I don't know. Listen, something's gonna go down. And whether that is Otaro's been sus the whole motherfucking time, or Hibie possesses him and shit goes down, I don't know, but some shit's gonna go down. It has to. You've, like, amped it up slowly. You can't, like, have nothing happen, you know? So. To take revenge on all of humanity. Then do you know about Ruriko? Huh? Yes, I do. Really? Wait, was Ruriko's disappearance your guys' doing? Yes. I knew it! But how did she escape from the prison house under those circumstances? We just unlocked the bars, and we possessed the witnesses, erased their memories. You keep saying we. Who's the we? I mean, we know that, like, he was probably the person that sold the Magatama to Tanichibo and stuff like that, and he's been controlling other people, but are, like, the wees like, oh, people he's controlling and doing whatever, because he's kind of like tricked Okuni and everything like that. So possibly, but it's just interesting. I'm just there because like it's funny because Otaro's not asking who's we. You know what I mean? And maybe Hibie's like a we. Hibie is we. Like maybe he thinks of himself as multiple people. We don't know this, right? But like Otaro not asking that is sus as fuck. He's gonna turn out to be the most fucking marshmallowy marshmallow cinnamon bun ever, and I'm gonna have suspected all sorts of shenanigans. But again, you can't blame me. Because they kind of set up like, why does he always peace out? Maybe he's just like, I don't want to be a fucking vessel. I want to explore the world and it's totally innocent. Okay, fair enough. But it always makes you think, like, huh, why are you the one who always disappears? Why do they always point that out? Some of the other, they don't tell you what everybody else is doing. They always make a point to point that out. And you're locked and you're the last route, so there's got to be something aside from Hibie possesses you, because again, Hibie could literally have possessed anyone. So why did they pick you specifically? So there's something else about you. And again, it could be totally innocent. You're like, when we figure it out, it'll be like, oh, okay, that makes sense, and that's why. But like, the only thing at the moment we have to go on is you were a locked route. You always peace out and they make a point to note something sus. Again, I don't know the level of sussitude. I just know there's some sussitude here. So I'm saying. That makes sense. So where's Ruriko right now? That's the red light district. After answering that, a thread wrapped around Hibie's wrist broke with an audible snap. Only one thread was cut, but it seemed even that was enough to break the binding. Hibie immediately melted into the air and disappeared. He escaped! While glaring at the spot where Hibie had been standing, Otaro muttered quietly. Pathetically, even though we'd finally met with a Blightfall that was connected to the case, I couldn't do a single thing. Ruriko's in the red light district? But why did the Blightfall kidnap Ruriko? And just what does he mean by taking revenge on humanity? To be fair, I mean, Okuni's probably involved still, because we know that he kind of like, she fell in love with him or whatever. So I would assume that that still flies in this route too, so. More and more questions came up, but there was no point in saying them out loud. I already knew that no one there could answer them. And I mean, they're not gonna like, she's still not gonna be like, the big bad evil, kind of like she was. Ooh, chapter 5 already. You know what I mean? Like she was in Kinji's route. She's not going to be the main, but she's still, I would assume she's still kind of involved with Hibie, you know, in this version, but there's going to be something else. I mean, I guess Hibie is the main antagonist, and in Kinji's it was like via Okuni. And now it's just Hibie on his own. And there's other puppets along the side, but they're not as important as him. But still think Otaro's sus. He killed Kyoshiro, for God's sakes. Some people probably hate that I'm accusing him of that. I'm sorry if he's your favorite and he's totally innocent, but listen, he died on your watch, motherfucker, so I'm a little mad about it. Ruriko was in the red light district. The day after we got that intel, the entertainment district team went to the red light district in order to check whether the information was true. Despite the times, the main streets of the entertainment district were lively and packed with people. Everyone must have been trying to live their usual lives to alleviate the anxieties they felt inside. That is 100% true. You were like, listen, while I can pretend there's some semblance of normalcy, I'm gonna do it, because shit is gonna hit the motherfucking fan sooner or later. That is the state we are all living in right now. My word. It was the perfect chance, and yet you simply let it slip away. I'm shocked, truly. You know, Kinji, I feel that, though. I'm not going to be like, Kinji, lay off, because it's like, no, but see, even Kinji's sus of Otaro. Kinji's just being Kinji right now, but I feel like he's being sus of Otaro, and I'm also like, uh-huh. The thread snapped. What was I supposed to do? And there was no way he would have honestly told us anything, even if we made him stay. But why did the thread snap? What do you carry that sword around for? If it was intelligent enough to talk, it would have been better had you exterminated it. But they're friends. Well, also, even if they're not, if he had killed Hibie right then and there, well, what would be the fucking point of the rest of his route? Jeez! Enough with the lecture! My ears are gonna bleed if you keep repeating the same thing over and over. In the midst of all that, Kinji and Otaro were endlessly discussing what happened yesterday. Perhaps because we were the only ones who were there at the key moment, there were a lot of things Kinji was curious about. But I'm glad that you were there at the time, Otaro. If I'd been the only one, I might not have been able to get the information out of him like that. Right? See? Spacey, I knew you'd get it. Don't go easy on him, young lady. Otaro may look like this, but he's a veteran in the Oniwaban. There's no excusing him making such a novice mistake. And here, see, but that's also sus, though. Like, Kinji being like, that's a novice mistake, and it's something that Otaro shouldn't have done. So why did he make a novice mistake? Like, yes, everyone can make mistakes, but vessels? I don't know, they've always, like, acted like they're better than that, and they have heads on, they're not swayed by emotion or anything, so their logic and reason should always come out on top. But we also know that Otaro is cracking a little bit and is not acting like a normal vessel. So, did he make that mistake because he's not acting like a normal vessel? Because he's starting to crack and have feelings for us? Or is that all just sus? And it's a easy excuse for his sussitude. Who knows, you know? Like, come on! Isn't it good that we've at least made some progress? You're such a perfectionist, Kinji. Otaro might not have been able to do anything too rash because I was there, so please don't be that angry with him. Spacey, you're so kind. Thanks for sticking up for me. And then Otaro, while smiling exaggeratedly, opened up his arms toward me. The action! Could he be thinking of hugging me? See, he always gets carried away like this. Otaro, stop horsing around in the streets. Yeah, Kinji, let's go horse around in the sheets. You and me, though. Not me and Otaro. I mean, although, like, Otaro's in the sprite position that I don't dislike. Because he's kind of cute, like, so, like, whatevs. Three of us? Alright, fine. Whatevs. I'm down. But, I mean, Kinji's right, Otaro. We should not be horsing around in the streets. We gotta take it inside somewhere and find that privacy. Right. Right? That's what you meant? Yeah, alright, let's go. I'm not horsing around. It's not that big of a deal. But before he could do it, Kinji grabbed Otaro by the scruff of his neck and stopped him. I'm saved. You wouldn't... Oh, poor Otaro. I couldn't help but let out a sigh of relief at Otaro being pulled away. That's how you act for somebody who don't want to hug you. You like Otaro. You should want him to hug you. Well, I mean, it'd be awkward, but... Of course, it wasn't that I disliked Otaro. It was just... I'd always thought you were cute, but now, even more than that, I treasure you. The fact that I feel this way, does this mean that I like you? When I thought about how someone not only professed their love for me, but was going to touch me, I became strangely conscious of it. Yeah, I mean, okay, that's fair. And in public. And he's not supposed to, so it would be, awkward. So many shocking things happened yesterday that I didn't have time to process it calmly, but it was different now. Every time I looked at Otaro's face, his words from back then replayed in my head. What were his intentions when he said those words? Did he mean exactly what he said? But if that's the case, then Otaro's heart could really... For starters, how do I feel about Otaro? My feelings... Well, there's no point crying over spilt milk. More importantly, we must think about what we must do now.
Yeah, exactly. Let's think positively.
Not another word from you. My word, you're so glib. So, Hibie, was it? You two are absolutely sure he testified that Roriko's in the red light district?
Of course. Besides, we tied him up with the thread, so there's no way he could lie, right?
I was there and heard it as well, so I don't think there's any mistake there. How strange. I recall investigating the red light district quite thoroughly. Well, in any case, we must confirm the intel. And well, if she's being hidden by what's her face? Can't Okuni. God, why couldn't I? Then it would make sense that you were investigating and you wouldn't find her because Okuni would be lying about it, right? Because it's not like you were searching her sock drawer. So, But also, I want to be like, okay, so like he'd be like, what? Pausing. Was he kind of like, oh, when you were asking questions, like, oh, pausing awkwardly because, trying not to tell you, or like, the fuck are you asking me these questions? You know these answers, right? Because Otaro's in on it. I'm just throwing it out there. I just like being sus of him. It's fun. I'm gonna be mad if it comes to nothing, because like it'll be like, what the hell? You set it up. It could have been so good. That's the thing. The brothel was connected to Ruriko, so we've already investigated it several times. He didn't say in the brothel, he just said the red light district. Was there something we missed? Okuni is Hibie's lover. Shouldn't we investigate the reason for revenge that Hibie mentioned later? Revenge on all humanity sounds like the issue runs deep. For the time being, the public-facing Oniwaban will investigate this Hibie person, so there's no need to worry. Let's focus on our duties. Yeah. As we discussed that, the main gate of the red light district appeared nearby. As usual, I waited to receive a stamp before entering the red light district with everyone. Now then, let's go and gather some information.
Hey, the others are coming later to help out on today's mission, right? Why don't we split up and check the back?
Yes, and the stores in the back can be quite eccentric. Since we're used to the entertainment district, we should be in charge of those. However, it'd be unwise to leave the young lady alone. Please investigate with Otaro.
I understand.
I shall start from the east. I'll leave the west to you two. After he said that, Kinji hurriedly walked off. Bye, sweetie, I love you. Left behind, we glanced at each other. Looking forward to working with you.
Right, likewise.
Oh no. When it's just the two of us, I keep remembering what happened back then. All Otaro said was that he liked me, and it's not like he's waiting for a response, but I just can't stop thinking about it. But it'd be weird for me to bring it up again. Since he's a vessel, he has that seal on his heart.
Anyway, let's start investigating from the back. We should go get some information or something from an escort tea house.
Yeah. Oh, he's making a sad face at us now. Then Otaro peered at me suspiciously. Really? The sus one is giving me sus vibe? Look, yeah, I don't think so, sir. Did he realize that I was being self-conscious? In any case, my heart couldn't take the stress. I ended up looking around, making myself seem more suspicious. Otaro, is there something you need?
Nope, nothing.
It seemed Otaro didn't notice. He gave me a bright smile and started to walk off as if to lead me. However, the investigation didn't go well. No matter how much we searched, there wasn't a single clue, let alone any new information. On top of that, since we were now combing through the insides of brothels, the investigation took an extremely long time.
Checking each place one by one's gonna take forever, man.
Yeah, but we have to make sure we don't miss anything. After After all, we've already checked these places before. As we talked while walking, Otaro once again looked at me with a curious expression. Why are we 50 feet behind?
It's like, why the hell are you walking 3 streets behind? Hey, I've been wondering about this for a bit, but why are you so far away?
Exactly. Huh? I noticed after he pointed it out, there was a 2 to 3 person gap between Otaro and I. It was true that we were too far apart. You're right. Sorry, I guess I got too wrapped up in the investigation. I was too busy thinking and pondering.
But that's not the only thing, is it? You were acting weird all day. You never even looked me in the eye.
He really did notice.
Did I do something to make you hate me?
Oh! I mean, you're sus as fuck, but no, sweetie. Actually, you're kind of charming. Listen, Otaro's not my type. You know what I mean? Because he's the babyface one. But, like, he's adorable, so I don't hate him at all. I actually like him. And, like, listen, we've had, like, the babyface characters who aren't my type, and I'm like, not my favorites, but I still enjoy their routes, okay? Like, I can at least be like, he might not be my type. I might not be, like, insta attracted, but, like, I can still get behind their routes and be like, no, it's a good route. And if he's your favorite character, I totes get it. And, like, I could get why you'd be charmed by him, because he's adorable. And I don't know, like, he might turn out to be the evilest motherfucker. You could be complete and utter trash. And then I might actually like you more. I mean, we know I like trash. Okay, let's be real. I mean, look at Kyuhiko. He just looked like an emo wizard. And then he's a big fat asshole on top of it. And that just makes me love him more. You know he's a cinnamon roll inside. And that's absolutely my type. And why can't I date him? But anyway. He murmured in distress, and both his shoulders slumped sadly. He was like a dog with its ears drooping. He's a puppy. Seeing him like that made me unconsciously close the distance between us. I'm sorry. It's not your fault, so please don't be sad. By the time I noticed it, I was patting his head. He just happened to be facing me with his head lowered, so even I was able to reach it easily. If this was a while ago, I wouldn't have thought twice about this. But now, even this kind of contact makes me a little nervous. As I moved my hand back and forth to tidy up his fluffy hair, Otaro looked at me with confusion in his eyes. Hi, what, you want petties? Okay, fine. But don't bite the headset, it's not for you. What do you want? What do you want, fidget butt?
Why are you patting my head?
'Cause you have fluffy, soft hair?
Huh?
Well, it's because you're sad.
There are other ways to make me feel better too, you know. Wait, you're thinking that I look like a dog again, aren't you?
I mean, yeah, a little bit. Sorry. Oh, he's mad. You know what? When you get a little mad with this face, it's adorable. I like it. There was no way I could deny it when he managed to guess the truth. Then Otaro grabbed the hand I was using to pat his head, looking irritated.
Listen, you remember what I said yesterday?
Yeah, that's why I've been avoiding you.
I told you I might like you, right? How can you do this and act like everything's okay?
That's... I didn't expect Otaro to be the one to bring up what happened yesterday. I tried to look away in a panic, but because he was holding my hand, I couldn't get away. As Otaro carefully stared at me in that position...
Oh, wait. Were you thinking about me?
He suddenly got to the heart of the matter. Once I had it pointed out to me again, my body immediately started feeling hot from the sheer embarrassment. It must have been obvious to him as well that I was blushing. I fell silent, unable to confirm or deny it, and Otaro nodded thoughtfully.
I see. So that's what it was. You should have just said something. So, is it okay to get my hopes up? From now on, can I expect you to finally see me as a real man?
I can't answer that. I don't even understand my own feelings. But here I am reacting this way. He's probably right. It's not like I don't feel anything towards him.
Look at you, your face is bright red. You're so obvious.
Jeez, Otaro!
Roger. If that's the case, then I'm not gonna hold back either. Treat me like a dog like you did earlier, and I just might bite back. Or maybe you want to be bitten.
You know what? It really depends how, because, like, yeah, not you, not by you, bird. Nobody wants bird bites. That's not nice, because you bite too hard. Those not nice. Those aren't love bites. Those are mean bites. Those mean.
Just kidding.
Are you, though? Are you, though? After he murmured that, Otaro finally released my hand. His words, actions, and expressions were so human-like, my heart couldn't help but skip a beat. But the threads representing emotion still hadn't appeared around Otaro's neck. See, but I'm wondering, like, he doesn't have threads, but that doesn't mean that his heart isn't open. It just means that he's sus as fuck, right? Now, when the threads appear later, I'll be like, okay, fine. But I'm just saying, right now, sus. Put that in the sus pile. As we talked, we continued with our investigation. Then, at the very back of the road, I noticed an unfamiliar brothel. The outside was fairly clean, but when I peered in, there didn't seem to be anyone inside. It seemed that it was closed. I didn't know there was a brothel in a place like this. Doesn't seem to be operating now, though.
There's so many places here. Poorly managed ones tend to shut down immediately, and it's pretty common to see.
Should we check inside just in case?
Nope, there's no need for that. I checked this place out before. A lot of emotional imprints, but nothing else stuck out as weird to me.
I'm sorry. Did you say... First of all, I was going to be like, do we need to go in? Nope! And then this is where Ruriko is, and then that's going to be sus as fuck, because he's going to be like, I checked them out, and there was no one there, and it's going to be sus that you're avoiding going in there. But then you said a lot of emotional imprints, but nothing else stuck out as weird to me. I didn't think anyone but us could see emotional imprints. So, did they fuck up when writing this line, or did Otaro fuck up?
There was a male worker doing some cleanup work at the time, so I took the chance to ask him some questions.
Oh, okay. Then I guess it's alright. What was that? Something felt strange about that conversation just now. Okay! No, he's sus as fuck! Oh! Oh, we're getting into the sus! Oh, I love it! Oh, okay, wait a minute. Oh, this is exciting. Because I'm sorry. I was going to say, when he's like, nah, we don't need to go in, I was like, that's suspicious, until he said the thing about emotional imprints. Why can you see them? No one else can. He is not... I mean, he's a vessel, but he's not a vessel. He's not normal. There's something fucking up. Now, is it because... were you always a vessel and then something happened, Hibiye did something to you and now you're not normal? Have you always been like this? Like, what's the deal? Because you can't sit there and be like, oh, he's a member of the Oniwaban, but he's actually always been evil or whatever. I mean, he could have always been, but it's like, you were born a vessel, so at some point, when all this bad stuff happened, you became susceptible to Hibiye somehow. Because I would blame Hibiye, he's the big bad in the whole thing. We know this, right? So, like... you've been either under his control or you agree with him and you're on his side willingly, whatever, for a while now. Probably since before we showed up here, I would guess. But were you born as a vessel this way? Or did something happen? And you know what I mean? Because, like, we already know that Yoichi remembers his life before he became a vessel. He remembers being a comb, right? So, but he's never told anyone that. You know? So, and we know that Tominari like kind of, I don't say he didn't really remember, but something about us, the second he met us, flagged something inside of him to want to protect us and trust us and whatever and show us the object he came from and whatever because he was a form folk that belonged to our family. So it's like he might not have known that. He didn't remember it consciously, but he knew somewhere deep down. So there was some kind of a tie there. So he kind of just almost like subconsciously felt that bond, right? And that's why his emotions cracked a lot sooner than everybody else. And he ended up with his heart back. All right. So it makes sense that Otaro could also possibly be broken slash special slash fucked up, however you want to say it. Because like Yoichi is kind of, if you think about it, you're kind of a broken vessel because not when we break them and we break their seals, but they didn't seal you properly. So a perfect vessel would be like, you have no memories, no emotions, no nothing. You're a robot. Kyoshiro, perfect. Right? No nothing. Nothing's there. You a blank ass motherfucking slate when you pop out. Yoichi has memories, so you're kind of like, I don't want to say a failed vessel, but you're imperfect. You know what I mean? You're flawed because you shouldn't have those memories, and that's why he never told anyone, because they'd be like, oh, off with his head. You know? He could still do his job, but they would have, well, Kiyohiko absolutely would have tried to kill him. Okay, we know this. He's the one that always trying to kill everybody. But, so Otaro, what happened that made you susceptible to Hibie in the beginning? Because I don't think it's something that we're going to do. I think he was like this before we showed up. Or the object you came from was somehow cursed or something, and then you popped out as a vessel this way. Or 5 days later, Hibie got you. I don't know what it is. You know what I mean? But something is sus about you. I wasn't wrong. That's why he always runs away. And you can see emotional imprints. And I still think that Ruriko might be being held in that, and and that's why Hibie is like, we were doing this. Because then he's not lying, and you never asked Hibie, who the fuck is we? Who else is in on it? You know? Sus. All right. I'm glad she caught that, though. She's not going to think about it till later. It'll come back. She's like, something was weird about this. Anyway. Then, right in front of the brothel, I saw that a glossy piece of wood had fallen onto the ground. It was too big to be just a piece of garbage, and it had a somewhat peculiar shape. I approached it, picked it up, and... this is a stamp! I'd come in and out of the red light district so often, there was no mistaking its unique shape. It was covered in dust, but no matter how I looked at it, the object in my hand was undeniably a stamp.
Wait, did someone drop it? That's not good.
Right. Without a stamp, did I sort of like singular? Well, women couldn't leave the red light district. If this had fallen here, then that meant there was someone out there who was stranded. Excuse me, has anyone dropped a stamp? Yeah, like a bunch of fucking bitches here. Yeah, it was totally me. Yep, absolutely. Get me the fuck out. Logically, I immediately started calling out to the people around us. But everyone simply looked at us strangely and didn't react. It seemed that all the women had stamps as well. Is the owner not here?
The stamp's a little dirty, so they might have lost it a while ago.
Maybe it was Ruriko's stamp. Because it's been dusty and it's here, remember? And there's a brothel that we haven't seen. It is all sus as fuck! Sing it with me now. Sus as fuck!
In any case, let's take it to the front gate. The owner might have returned there.
However, even when we returned to the entrance of the red light district, we couldn't find the owner of the stamp. We also tried asking the guard, but it seemed that he hadn't heard about any lost stamps recently. If a woman had lost her stamp, she should have come to report it at the gate.
So that means the person who lost the stamp is still in the red light district?
Yeah, in that brothel that you didn't want us to go into because it's probably Ruriko's. I wonder how she's doing. Then, at that moment, the sound of people cheering entered our ears. When I turned to the direction of the voices, a crowd was forming in the main street. I wonder what that is.
There shouldn't be a festival or anything today. Let's take a look just in case.
We continued on towards the crowd. When we got there, we finally discovered what was behind all the commotion. Not the real Nekomata boy, if we're bringing Nekomata boy back for the third encore. I like the fact that we found the stamp, though, because she's like, something's odd about this conversation. Hey, wait, a stamp! And then the stamp takes over your presence, and you totally throw into the back of your mind that conversation. Because if you thought about it right then and there, you'd be like, how can you see threads? Wait a minute. Like, but you didn't have time to think about it because you were distracted by the stamp. So I kind of like that they did that, you know? Instead of her being like, well, never mind. And it's like, no, you should have figured that one out. You get distracted, then you're going to forget. It's kind of like you're thinking three things, you walk into the kitchen and you're like, I was coming in here for something, and then I thought of something else. The fuck? And then you get very confused. It happens even if you're like, I'm going to the kitchen to get a glass of water. I'm going in the kitchen to get a glass of water. And you walk in and you're like, why am I in the kitchen? How did I get here? What's today? Who am I? Especially if you have to walk through a doorway. Doorways suck your brain cells. But anyway, there, a single townsperson was scattering piles of Kawaraban leaflets. Everyone was reading them and talking excitedly. Okay, so it's a leaflet. Okay. It prints equivalent to modern day newspapers. Okay. Hey, what do you think? Should we go? This looks really interesting. I feel like making some noise, so let's close up shop early tomorrow. This is interesting and doesn't sound good. This sounds sus as fuck. That's the theme of this entire route. Everyone was getting excited like children while reading the Kawaraban. It felt like it'd been a long time since I'd seen the townsfolk so full of life. It's going to be about a festival or something, but it's a place for the Blightfall to attack people. What's going on? I wonder what's written on that Kawaraban. I want to go check, but there aren't any leaflets scattered around here. We then walked around while in search of the Kawaraban when we saw Kinji standing amidst the crowd. In contrast to the townsfolk around him, he was quietly staring down at the Kawaraban in his hand. Kawaraban is really hard to fucking say, so I could tell even from a distance that he had a serious expression on. Kinji, is something the matter? Oh, it's you two. Let's read the crowd. Is there something written on the Kawaraban? You can see for yourself. Kinji's expression hardened even further at our question as he handed the Kawaraban to us. Please stop saying Kawaraban because I can't say that word. To our surprise, Ruriko had been sentenced and would be publicly paraded to the jail tomorrow. Oh, that's worse than a little festival. Huh. Well, you know what? That makes sense, though, because it's like, oh, Blightfall would attack people. But Blightfall want your intense emotions, right? I mean, I suppose even in, like, you're in the red light district, even your... Well, no. I mean, your lusty emotions, or I guess... It wasn't it always, like, kind of more your negative emotions? Like, your happiness doesn't do it. But... Yeah, bloodshed. Yeah, just going to jail. Like, those are negative kind of emotions, like reveling in somebody being arrested. You know what I mean? Especially someone that was stealing money that then was throwing, and you were like, yay, woohoo, free money. And now you're like, yeah, chop her head off. You know what I mean? That's kind of fucked up of you. But, interesting. And Hibie, all right. This is to distract us more. So this is interesting. She's sentenced, but she's escaped. How did they get her? That was really weird. Oh no! After we read the Kawaraban, we immediately rushed back to base. When we charged into the usual room, the others were already gathered there. In their hands, they held the Kawaraban in question. All right. You know, I gotta try to get up. Your birdie needs a break. Did you all pick it up in the entertainment district too? Oh, I'm gonna guess it's been scattered around in more than just the entertainment district. That's how they got it. All right, hold on. Here you go. You gotta go potties like a good boy? I know you do. I know. I know. You can read the papers and the advertisements later. Besides, those are old advertisements. Underneath his little stand, obviously, I have puppy pads and stuff, but I also have, like, on the right underneath it is, like, you know, the flyers and mailers and little things that you get, like, with ads and stuff and whatever. Those are what I line his cage and stuff with. So he's looking at it like he's trying to read it. It's like, you don't need to try to read the Tide ad, silly. I know, you don't have to read that. You don't have to worry about doing laundry. We don't wash your clothes. You don't have clothes. You won't let me put clothes on you. You should let me put sweaters on you. You'd look so cute in a little hoodie. You should let me put hats on you. Can I put hats on you? Can I take a little hat and put it on top of you? A boop, hat on your head? No? You'd look so cute. Birds and hats. I'm telling you. Anyway. Yeah, but when I went back earlier to check, it looks like they were scattered on the main streets of Castletown as well. That was the same in Samurai Town.
Are you serious? So that means they've been spread around the entirety of Edo? And Kyoshiro, what is the meaning of this? How could a sentence be carried out on a culprit who hasn't even been found? Before I explain that, could I hear the report on the red light district? What? This isn't important right now. Stand down, Otaro. It's the boss's orders. And look, he's alive in this one at least. If you kill him again, I am going to be so mad. In regards to our investigation in the red light district, we unfortunately weren't able to find Ruriko. There weren't even any eyewitness accounts. That said, we haven't searched the entire area yet, so I can't fully say for sure. I see. All right, report over. Now explain that Kawaraban.
I like how Otaro's getting angsty about this. It's interesting. After Otaro forcefully ended the topic and asked the question, Kyoshiro looked at everyone's faces before nodding firmly. Put simply, the shogunate doesn't acknowledge what's written on this Kawaraban whatsoever. We still have no plans to punish Ruriko. More importantly, since Ruriko herself is missing right now, doing so is impossible. I mean, that does make sense. Yoshimune would be the one to be like, we've carried out a sentence on her. He'd be like, I decide that shit. So who the fuck? So I mean, like, that's valid. She's missing. How the fuck? I wasn't even thinking about that. It's like, oh, so the judge over the... Nope. Yoshimune is like, whoa. I'm the one that decides everything. Fuck everyone else. What I say goes. So, like... And she is missing, so it is like, okay, where did they... So, alright, interesting.
Huh? So what's with this Kawaraban then?
It means that whoever took Ruriko away, Hibie and the others, made the Kawaraban.
I asked the people handing out the leaflets, but they were only employees. They accepted the job because they were promised an exorbitant amount of money.
I mean, listen, you'd do the same. I would too.
As for their employer, no one had any recollection. Even though they made a deal face to face, I was told they didn't know the face or their name.
So that's, again, like, everything else when we've been dealing with Hibie, like, the people that killed people in Tominari's route would be like, oh my god, I saw it was a person, a woman, a man, tall, short, fat, thin, black, white, Asian, purple. Did they have polka dots? Did they have tentacles? They might have had No? They were a panda? Was it a cat? What are we talking about? Like, and they couldn't remember a damn thing? So it makes sense. In other words, they too were tricked by the Blightfall. Oh, I mean, that's true. Okay, I guess we already know it's Blightfall at this point in this round.
For now, that's our best guess as to what happened.
Still, punishment by being publicly paraded is in poor taste. You know, for someone who likes to kill people and really wants to take out my vessels left, right, front, and center every time they blink wrong, I think it's really adorable that you're like, it's ridiculous. We would never do something so shoddy. Just what kind of punishment is that?
What? You don't even know what that is?
Oh, well, I'll explain. Please do, precious.
First of all, a public parade is a punishment in which the culprit's forced to walk around the city as a spectacle. They simply gather a crowd of people and mimic a daimyo procession. The culprit's placed on top of a horse so they stand out.
That doesn't seem too bad until you tell me they're beheaded at the end or some shit.
If the word jail is at the end, then that means they'll be executed afterward.
Okay, that's... How can they make a spectacle out of someone about to be killed?
That's not all. Being publicly paraded to the jail is a punishment they'd originally planned for me.
Oh. I mean, I'd watch you being publicly paraded around, but I just like looking at you. I wouldn't want you dead at the end, because I love you.
The fact they're giving the same punishment to a girl who copied the Nekomata boy means whoever wrote this leaflet might know what went on behind the scenes. In any case, according to this Kawaraban, they'll execute the parade at dusk tomorrow.
That's a poor choice of words, Kiyoshiro. They'll execute the parade? Stop it. Because they're gonna execute Ruriko at the end of the parade. Poor choice of words! Sir! As someone who was, like, probably executed in the last round, be more sensitive.
Unless we can rescue her before then, we'll lose the chance to solve this series of cases forever.
Why can't you stop them? Because Yoshimune should pop out and be like, I do not condone this. Fuck that. You know what I mean? Whoever decided this, no.
However, if we think of it in another way, this is also a good chance. The Blightfall might be trying to eliminate Ruriko because she has important information.
Looks at Otaro. If you kill my girl, I'm going to be pissed, because I love Ruriko. And her and Tatsu have to be happy.
Alright. No matter what, we have to figure out where they're keeping Ruriko locked up.
You say this, but I think you know, and I think it's that brothel. And now I'm just like, why would you let this happen?
In that case, wouldn't it be safer to rescue her during the parade around the city? That's our last resort. I would prefer avoiding a situation where the opponent has the upper hand.
Valid.
But we still don't know where Ruriko is, right? How are we supposed to rescue her like this? What about doing another round of ghost stories? A Blightfall who knows something might appear.
That took a long motherfucking time.
I'm against it. There's no guarantee that the Blightfall we need will come, and we don't have the time to do it.
He's not wrong.
And if we're gonna do a round of 100 ghost stories, a majority of the vessels will be preoccupied. We can't leave everything up to Kiyoshiro again.
Yeah, you're right.
So then, under these circumstances, our only option is to investigate every nook and cranny of the Red Light District. You make it sound easy, but the Red Light District is huge. If only we had another clue.
A clue, huh? You mean like Otaro saying he saw a ton of fucking threats? But no matter how I thought about it, nothing came to mind. All I could do was look down at the stamp still clutched in my hand. Speaking of which, because of the ruckus, I forgot to return the stamp. I wonder who it belonged to. When I looked closer, there was a bright green line drawn on the stamp underneath the grime. The vibrant, sparkling color was something that I had seen somewhere before. Is this perhaps?
Spacey, is something wrong with the stamp? It seems quite filthy.
Yeah, there's something I want to make sure of. The stamp might just be a hint to Ruriko's whereabouts.
That thing? Didn't someone just lose it?
I thought that at first too, but if you look closer, there's a green mark here, right? Isn't this Ruriko's lipstick? Oh, that's true, because I was like, what green line? She had the sparkly, iridescent lipstick. As I claimed that, I cleaned off the dust and held out the stamp so everyone could see. Oh, you mean this Safflower Rouge? This is a special lipstick, and I'm the only one in Edo who wears it. Is that so? Yep, because I'm the only one who knows how to make this color. I haven't told anyone. Ruriko said herself she was the only person who had safflower rouge, so I think there's no mistake.
This hue, the scarlet mixed behind the green, it does seem very familiar. Young lady, just where did you get this stamp?
I picked it up in the back of the red light district's western side, near an abandoned brothel, I think. The one that Otaro was trying purposely to not let us go into.
An abandoned brothel, you say? Not many people pass through the back of the red light district. It could be the perfect place to lock someone up.
Then should we investigate it again? At Otaro's question, every one of us quietly nodded. And see, now he's not because he's like, we should go back and check it out then. Because he's like, nah, I already looked at it and there's nothing there but emotional imprints. Again, him seeing emotional imprints is sus as fuck. That's definitely it. Again, him being like, nah, I already checked it out. We don't need to go back there. Could have totally been innocuous and innocent. You know, but everything he says is sus to me. The emotional imprint thing is absolutely suspicious because she caught on to that, but then she got distracted, so. Ooh. You know, we're almost to time. We're a little under, but I'm going to go we'll go a little bit longer because I want to see this. I'm so into it now. Despite that, considering there was the public parade tomorrow, there was no way we could have everyone participate in the investigation. In the midst of everyone rushing about to prepare countermeasures, we, the entertainment district team, immediately arrived at the aforementioned brothel. There wasn't much time left. I asked the male worker here before, but apparently this brothel closed down only recently.
That's true. It seems much better maintained than I had imagined. There's barely any dust on the ground. Still, I don't sense anyone here at all. Could Ruriko truly be here?
I checked this place out last time and the place was just straight up empty. But there are a lot of emotional imprints. As I murmured that, I carefully looked around the inside of the brothel. The interior was apparently well maintained, but from my eyes I could clearly see black threads tangling with each other and creating nests.
Is that not normal in the red light district? You said it yourself before.
That's true, but there are just way too many emotional imprints here. I've never seen it as bad as this. And just because you don't feel a presence doesn't mean the place is empty. When Ruriko was taken, no one noticed. Isn't it dangerous to make a judgment on that alone? It's true. You have a point. Kinji, let's investigate.
Yes, we don't know what could be lurking here. We shall move as a group. Understood?
Okay, well, that didn't get us very far. Usually these things, like, take longer. Like, they're like 10-minute long parts, but this was only a few minutes, but we'll stop here now, I guess, because we don't want to get too deep into the investigation, but ooh, it's getting so intriguing. And I want to know when she starts to figure out that Otaro can see emotional imprints, huh? I want to know. But anyway, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.